I recently watched H-Bomber Guy's video on Bloodborne and I was completely inspired to start the game again. I previously had tried to start Bloodborne something like 5 times and every time I stopped because I couldn't beat this guy. This guy is actually my first play experience with any of the FromSoft games. I first tried Bloodborne like 5 or so years ago, and since then I've also given a shot to Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I even made a video about how I think Sekiro should have an easy mode because the game looks so cool. I run into the same problems with each of these games, and with every failed attempt to break through the veil, I think I've gained a lot of insight as to why I can't play them. First off, I want to congratulate Miyazaki and the FromSoft teams that have made these games. I don't think I've ever been so enamored with an experience that I cannot actually get into. Whether it's Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, or Sekiro, all of these games just look so fascinating. The grim environments, the screeching and groaning in the background, the hopeless enemies that you fight, it's just beautiful. I remember I used to complain about the UI being really ugly, but for some reason now I'm really into it. I'm a fan of these weapons balancing on these wooden pedestals defying the laws of physics. Whenever I see gameplay or someone talking about the Souls games, it immediately makes me want to play them. I want to dodge roll around someone and hit them with the critical strike from behind. There's nothing more viscerally exciting than activating one of those cool critical animations, hearing that noise, and seeing the life drain from your enemy's eyes. Lit. When gaming is usually filled with fairy tales and writing that seems content to just give you a happy, easy ending, FromSoft fills this niche of hopelessness and dread. Everything about these games is designed to make your life hard. You get locked in your animations, flurries of enemies will overwhelm you, the bosses will get so big that you think, man, there's no way to beat that guy. But it's more than that. The games are about overcoming the trials and tribulations that they give you. It's about persevering, learning, and taking things as they come. The Soulsborne games require and reward patience. The feeling you get from finally beating a boss that's been giving you trouble, or getting past enemies that gave you a tough time, is amazing. Because it's not just skill points or level ups, but it's also you learning how to play the game. That's why when I beat this fat axe dude, my heart was pumping, and I was more excited than ever. Yes? Yes? No. Okay. Yes. 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 This stupid fat axe guy had been the plague of all my previous Bloodborne runs. He's the reason why I stopped. Every time. I just couldn't get past him. I mean, joke's on me because he's actually guarding absolutely nothing. But look at me. I'm really trying. Look at me dodge rolling right, only to get hit by his blade. Look at me getting hit by him doing a spin to win move. And look at me dying. Again, and again, and again. This guy gets my blood boiling. And I vowed this time that I would beat him. And honestly, that goal was more important to me than beating the game. I wanted to rip the head off the gatekeeper of my Soulsborne experience. And after a couple more attempts, I finally beat him. I parried at the right time, put my hand in his stomach, and I ended this dude's life. And nothing has tasted quite as sweet in a while. So much adversity was validated in an instant. So I pressed on. I wanted to find another one of the checkpoints and move on with the story, and what follows is just a typical cycle of fleshmonk playing Soulsborne games. I mean, you heard me earlier in the video. It sounds like I'm in love with these games. It's like I'm a boy and the Soulsborne games are a girl, and instead of a normal relationship like a lot of people have with them, I'm this fucking guy from You. I never can actually get the girl, I'm just stuck pining away from the shadows. So, after beating the axe guy, I just explore. I get stuck on crowds gathering around the burning crucifix, and I give up. Hours later, I resume. I watch some videos, get some reassurance from my friends, and I get past this mob. I learn how to parry more correctly, I learn how to bypass enemies, and I learn how to use the spacing of my weapon to make the game easier. I activate a shortcut, get pounded by some trolls a couple times, and then I get better. When I realize that I can parry enemies somewhat reliably, my adrenaline shoots up and my confidence is at an all-time high. And in that moment, I love Bloodborne. I keep exploring, scared to lose my blood echoes. I make my way carefully and patiently. My hands sweat. I get to a foggy area, desperately looking for a checkpoint so I can go back to the hunter's dream. And instead, I find my next new nemesis, Father Gascoigne. He runs at me with these fast strikes, barely giving me time to breathe. My first attempt goes pretty well. I get him down to half health. I repeat the sequence a couple of times. I get caught up at the trolls because I'm not feeling patient anymore, and this goes on for a while, and I realize, for what seems to be the 10th time, this might not be for me. It's rewarding and exhilarating the first couple of times, but after a while, getting to Gascoigne over and over again doesn't prove to be that fun. I'm told that I could grind up and level up, that I should learn his attack patterns, but overall, I'm not really so sure. The feeling is great, but not what I want out of a game. I think I want something with a little less resistance. If Bloodborne's difficulty was turned down one notch, I think I'd still be playing it. But that's not the intent of the developers. What I believe to be the intent of Miyazaki is the exploration of these worlds. I think that Bloodborne and the Souls games are about learning how to get through these challenges and not just the linear progression of a story. Where other games try to adjust damage, spawn locations, and checkpoints to make sure you don't just quit the game, Bloodborne doesn't hold your hand. It gives you all the tools you need to succeed and waits for you to decide whether or not you'll be dedicated enough to use them. I think that these most recent attempts to play Bloodborne have given me an immense understanding of why people love these games, and unfortunately, why I don't love them. I hope that one day FromSoft maybe adds training wheels to these games so I can play them, but honestly, I hope they just keep going. I hope Elden Ring is a massive hit, but until then, thanks for watching. Big special thanks to my $10 Flesh fam, Mecha Messiah, Matej54, and Paul Nicholson. I'd also like to especially highlight Mecha Messiah, who was kind enough to donate a capture card to the channel. With this, I recently got a PS3 and acquired a whole bunch of games, and I actually started to stream over at my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/fleshmonk. If you can't catch any of these streams live but you still want to watch, I'm starting a stream channel or VOD channel called Fleshmonk 2. Check that out if you really want to get more Fleshmonk gaming content. Stay cool and stay fleshy.